Representatives of the OACPS and the European Union, friends and colleagues, Nisam Bulvanaka from Suva, Fiji. I'm deeply honored for this opportunity to say a few words during this webinar towards a sustainable cultural and creative industry in Africa, the Caribbean, and the Pacific. I bring greetings from the Pacific community, also known by its acronym SPC. SPC is an intergovernmental organization owned and governed by its 26 members, 22 of which are Pacific Island countries and territories. We provide our members with technical assistance and capacity building across more than 20 sectors, including fisheries, public health, land resources, climate change, as well as in human rights and social development. Culture is a key part of SPC's work. Indeed, it has been since its establishment almost 75 years ago, and we have the honor of implementing the Pacific component of the ACP Cultural and Creative Industries project. As you will know, the COVID-19 pandemic has deeply affected our economies here in the Pacific, many of which rely heavily on tourism. Given its close links with the tourism sector, our cultural and creative industries have not escaped the adverse impacts of the pandemic. In this context, the ACP EU project is a lifeline, and for this I'd like to say Vinaka Vaka Levu to the European Union for opening this grant scheme to our part of the world. The project will be a catalyst for re-energizing the cultural and creative sector, raising morale and bringing to life new ways of creating and sharing Pacific cultures and creativity. This is an opportunity for the cultural and creative sector to reduce its reliance on tourism for its long-term sustainability and to help our economies recover from the adverse impacts of the pandemic. Currently, SBC is working on the next Pacific Regional Culture Strategy. The next strategy will prioritize cultural heritage, cultural well-being, cultural innovation, and cultural statistics and policies. The benefit of developing this strategy now during the pandemic is that it brings to the fore the realities, challenges, and opportunities faced by the cultural and creative industries. The new strategy will place greater emphasis on education, capacity strengthening, and exchange of programs for artists and cultural producers and practitioners, as well as on digital platforms, e-marketing, e-business, and online learning. Already we are seeing artists host digital concerts, and many designers are now relying on digital platforms to sell their products. These are new ways of doing for the Pacific. The project will enable the strengthening of partnerships between artists and formal organizations to improve and increase their online presence and activities. The project will also allow grantees to focus on specific areas of need in the context of their home countries, further enhancing the culture agenda across the region and elevating the local discourse on the importance of culture and its contribution to sustainable and economic development. From the creation and production of high quality goods and services to access to national, regional, and international markets, to better and more widespread visual literacy education, to facilitating access to innovative finance mechanisms. The possibilities are wide and varied and will be enhanced further by opportunities for research and scoping across these areas. The ACP EU project also provides the opportunity for increased visibility on the uniqueness of Pacific culture, including its intersection with gender equality and equity and social inclusion. In the grey economy where the heritage arts sit, the contribution of Pacific women to traditional ceremonies is critical and comprises what is often referred to as our cultural wealth. Their contribution includes the production of fine mats, tapa cloth, and traditional food. The EU project comes as we prepare for the Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture. The festival is the largest regional cultural gathering in the Pacific and is a celebration of the history and lived cultural diversity of our peoples, with activities focused on traditions, language, and culture, as well as the arts and artists from the cultural and creative industries. The EU project will support our artists and producers on the journey to sharing their work at the next festival in Hawaii scheduled for 2024. With these few remarks, again, on behalf of the Pacific community and the region we represent, thank the European Union for opening this grant scheme to our part of the world. We look forward to seeing what grows from the fertile imaginations and talents of our artists, poets, dancers, orators, craftspeople, designers, and cultural and creative practitioners as a result of this support. All the very best for the webinar and Vinaka Vakalevu.